Hey, what is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another day of the Norwich City Fanvent calendar, kindly sponsored by Credo Asset Finance. I hope you've enjoyed the previous 2 days. This is day 3. We've got another 22 days to go, I think. Anyway, I've got my cup of coffee here. I've got my laptop and a hard drive. I'm going to be doing the pick the team versus Watford, but slightly differently. I've got your guys' input off Twitter as well. So I went to you guys and asked you what team you want to be seeing on Twitter. Now, first of all, we got Scott George saying start with the same team that started against Arsenal. I think that's a fairly valid opinion. I think that any team that performs that well against an Arsenal side, a strong Arsenal side, deserves to start the next game. But I feel that the Watford game is a completely different kettle of fish, really. We need to approach it with a tactical approach, and we're going to have to go slightly more attacking. So the likes of Redmond, I'd feel, would need to come in, and I'd go slightly more attacking. So although I think, yeah, it'd be harsh to drop anyone from the Arsenal game, Scott, I don't quite agree with you there. We then move on to Robbo Spatula, who says, I'd like to see Rudd in goal. Once again, I think that's very valid. I don't think Ruddy's been at all good this season. And he said he also wants to see Vaddis play. Thought he was very good last week. First of all, completely agree on the Vaddis point. I think he looked fantastic for the under-21s in that convincing 7-2 win over Southampton. And Rudd, there is literally no reason why you wouldn't put him in goal. But I'm not going to put both of them players in. For me, this is Ruddy's last chance. If he underperforms again, Declan Rudd has to go in for me. That's my opinion, but I think Ruddy does deserve one more chance. I think Alex Neil will give him the one more chance. In terms of Vaddis playing, I think he's been absolutely fantastic, but he's got a lot of good players ahead of him. He needs to be performing well off the bench, first of all. I think maybe another couple of games for the under-21 side, and then we might start to see him introduced in the first team setup. But I think Vaddis is doing everything right at the moment, which is really good to see. We then move on to NFB at Norwich Fanbase. He's gone with a very similar team to what I'm going to be picking. He's put Gary O'Neill in there. I think O'Neill has been an absolute just inspiration to Norwich fans over the past 3 or 4 games. He's been fantastic. None of us expected him to step up to this kind of performance level, but he's done it really well, which is really pleasing to see. But I think O'Neill, his legs must be getting tired now. I think he needs a rest, and I don't think this is quite the game for him. He's more of a player who can sit back, not really venture forwards too much. Let's let other players do that. He does his defensive duties, and I don't think Watford's quite the game for him. I think we need a box-to-box player who can contribute a lot going forwards and also defensively. Joel Brooks put McCarney in the side, a very similar setup to other people. He's also put Malumbu in there and Declan Rudd. So I've talked about Declan Rudd. I'm going to be putting Malumbu in my side to agree with the Malumbu point. He's put O'Neill. I've already spoken about O'Neill. And then McCarney. Now, we haven't really got to the striker situation yet. We have spoken about Lewis Graben slightly, but I really don't know. Personally, I really like McCarney, and I think he's a fantastic player and our most technically gifted player. But I think after Graben's performance last week, it'd be very hard to drop him. He scored a really clinical goal. He scored goals against Watford last year. He knows what it's like to score goals against Watford. And I think McCarney would be more of an impact off the bench rather than Graben coming off the bench for an McCarney. So for me, I'd go with Graben to start and have the likes of Jerome and then McCarney to come off the bench. That's my opinion anyway. So all of you other guys have been saying Graben to start up front as well. We've got David Lee, good old David from Hong Kong. He's come in and said that he wants to see Loza start up front in a 4-4-2 with him and Graben up front. Sorry, David, mate. Loza's not ready for the first team yet. I think he's a fantastic footballer with bags of ability, but he's not strong enough. I don't think he's experienced enough. Yes, he scored a goal in the Championship last year, but he only scored one. What a goal it was, though. I just don't think he's ready yet, and we've got 3-4 strikers ahead of him who deserves more of a chance than Loza. So, although he did score 5 goals in the week in one game, that's crazy. I don't think Loza is the one. So let's get into the team I would pick, taking your guys' opinions into consideration. So I'm going to be leaving the back line the same as it was against Arsenal. I think they performed absolutely brilliantly against them. I think Ruddy is the only main issue really with it, but as I said, last chance saloon for John Ruddy. If he doesn't perform in this game, I think we need to put Declan Rudd in. And I agree with the guys over at the Little Yellow Bird Project who said that maybe we need to look at a goalkeeper in January. It was really interesting, actually. We've currently got an MLS keeper training with us at Norwich. So are we looking at other goalkeepers? Who knows? It's going to be giving Ruddy a kick up the bum anyway to really kick him on. In the midfield, I've gone with the midfield four. Nathan Redmond out on the right. I think we need his attacking presence. I think we need him back in the squad. He is such a good attacking player, and I don't think we need Johnny Howson on the right-hand side to give us defensive coverage. I think we've got enough of that, and I think we need to really go at Watford because that's the way we're going to be winning the game, I think. So I would start with Nathan Redmond. I'd go with the midfield two of Malumbu and Howson. I think Howson's fantastic box-to-box, and Malumbu gives a bit of coverage for the defence, so he can drop in, pick up Agallo and Deeney in them sort of number 10 areas. And then Brady on the left, who's been our player of the season. You just can't make a team without him in it. I'll put Wes Hoolahan in the team in the number 10. I think he's going to have a lot of space in this game. I think he's going to be having a lot of time to create chances. And with Lewis Grabban up front, who I've gone for, I think Grabban needs that kind of support in behind him and that kind of quality support. He's going to have support down the wings to Redmond and Brady, and I think he needs support in behind him as well, because we know Grabban doesn't create his own chances, but he's really clinical when he gets chances given to him. Let's forget about the Crystal Palace game. So that's my team. Let me know if you guys agree with it. Thanks to everyone who contributed on the Twitter. It was good to see all of your guys' opinions. A lot of different teams being thrown in there, but I think the team that I've picked, taking your guys' opinions into consideration, is probably the one that brings everyone together. Anyway, thanks to Credo Asset Finance for sponsoring this Norwich City Fanvent series. We've got loads and loads of cool videos coming up in the next couple of weeks. So be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on them. Go and check out my match preview of the Watford game if you want to hear some statistics and how I think the game will pan out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.